Hi everyone, my name is Cyrus and welcome back to my channel. I've been thinking a lot lately about friendship and how making friends as an adult is a lot harder than it used to be when you were kids. I feel like when you were a kid, it was as easy as sharing a snack with somebody, being on the same team in gym class, or simply just asking somebody, want to be my friend? And I feel like somewhere along the line, the ease of making friends just kind of disappeared. The magic was gone. People get busier, your routine takes over, and all of a sudden, it just becomes so much more difficult to make friends as an adult. I know that I've definitely felt that when I graduated university and I was no longer forced to be in the same space as, hundreds and thousands of people my age all the time, and friendship became more difficult than just asking somebody, hey, do you want to grab a beer after class or something like that? It became so much more evident to me that either developing a new friendship or maintaining a friendship that I already had took so much more effort and work and just dedicated time than the convenience of when you're in school. And so over the years, I've thought about and kind of figured out some different techniques and ways that have helped me develop new friendships, maintain old friendships, and hopefully sharing some of these can help you if you find yourself in the same situation where you're kind of struggling to make friends as an adult. Okay, so first, start showing up. Friendships don't just appear out of thin air. They grow and thrive in places that we create for them. For a long time, that was just school. When you're in school, naturally, there's a bunch of people your age around and you're kind of always meeting each other, making friends that way. As an adult, it's not that easy. Sometimes that can be work. And sometimes that works out where you're showing up to work and you're meeting people at work, but it doesn't always work out. There's not always people at work that you want to be friends with. So that means you need to show up in other places in different ways. So say yes to that invitation. Right? Go to that place. Join that ceramics class. Join the running club. Wander into that bookstore and, try the book club there. You have to put yourself in situations where possibilities can happen. And it's not always as easy and sometimes it's going to be a bit weird, but you have to put yourself in those situations. For me, that was joining my dojo and starting karate. And I didn't know it at the time. When I started karate, it was right after the pandemic and the main goal that I had was wanting to get back into shape after being so inactive for a couple of years throughout the pandemic. And so that was my goal going in, but I didn't know that by going in and putting myself into that situation and around so many different people, I would meet so many people that I would now call some of my best friends. And so putting yourself out there, putting yourself into situations where you give yourself that option and that possibility for those things to happen is really important. So you have to take the first step and put yourself out there. Second, lead with curiosity. You don't have to be interesting to make friends, but you do have to be interested to make friends. Ask questions, listen deeply, really engage in those conversations you're having, because those are the situations that open you up to, again, that possibility of making a connection with someone, right? Friendships aren't made on perfectly crafted conversations. They're made on those little moments where you realize that you share an experience with somebody, that you have the same kind of interest as somebody else, where you feel surprised that somebody else has that kind of thought, the same thought that you had. You have to give yourself the opportunity to feel that surprise in people that you're talking to. And so ask those questions and lead with curiosity. Third, embrace the awkwardness. Look, there's no beating around the bush with this one. Making friends as an adult can feel really awkward. It can feel weird. But here's a secret. Everyone else is feeling that same way too. That person that you just met, they might be thinking the same thing that you're thinking. How do I become friends with that person I just had a conversation with? And so someone has to take the first leap. It might as well be you. Send that text, invite that person out to coffee, invite them to a game night. Take that first step. Because by doing that, you're putting yourself again in that situation where something more can happen than just a conversation that doesn't lead to anything. But like I said, there's no doubt about it that it can feel awkward, and that can feel that way with acquaintances too. When I graduated university, a few years after I graduated university, most of my really close friends had moved away for one reason or another, and so I kind of found myself feeling really, really lonely. And I just missed having close friendships and friendships, and especially male friendships. And I knew that there was this acquaintance that I knew that still lived in town that I kind of met in university, and we ran in similar circles, but we were never really close. We never really had more than a couple conversations here and there. And I felt so worried about sending a message to that person. I felt worried that I get rejected or that I would feel dumb. But ultimately, I kind of worked out the courage and sent that message and inviting them out to lunch. And I'm so happy that I did that. Because if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to become really, really close friends with this person, and way closer friends than I ever really thought would have happened otherwise. Like, from sending that first text, I would have never thought that we would be where we are now. And that's all coming from just putting yourself in that potentially awkward situation where you might feel a bit weird. But again, someone has to take that first step. And lastly, be the kind of friend you're looking for. If you're looking for deep, meaningful friendships, be that kind of friend first. Be the friend that remembers birthdays, that sends thinking of you texts, that makes the extra effort even when life gets busy and difficult. Because friendship, like all things, thrives on love and care. And that's what you got to be. If you want to be friends with somebody that way, you have to then lead with that friendship first. Making friends as an adult may take a bit more effort, but as we all know, when you meet that right person and it clicks, it's so, so worth it. And what's really nice about making friends as an adult is you can do so much more than you could when you were kids. You want to go on vacation together? Do it. You want to play video games all night together? Do it. You want to try that new restaurant? Just do it. You don't have to get anybody's permission. It's so, so nice. And so even though it can be really difficult and hard to find friends, just remember, your friends are out there, wondering how to meet you too. So if anything in this video helped you out, give you a little push that you needed to find and figure out different ways to make friends, please share in the comments below. And if you have any thoughts or opinions or suggestions on how to help make friends as an adult, please share those and let's build that in the comments below as well. Until next time.